Okay. Feels like it's been a minute since we've done this. Hey, I'm Matt from Matt Lane Fitness. If you're new to this series, this is Matt's Mental Fitness. In this series, I basically talk about anything and everything mental fitness. But for a while now, this series has sort of turned into me talking to my therapist and then immediately walking out and talking about what we talked about. Because I believe that transparency and giving or putting out what you're going through is extremely beneficial. Not to give you a snapshot of my life and talk about me, but it's relatable because we all go through very similar things. So I'm happy because it's been a long time since I've done one of these, simply because of COVID and rescheduling and just whatever. She had to reschedule at one point, and yeah. So anyway, this was another awesome session. Going into it, I knew there was a handful of things that I wanted to talk about. I feel like I've talked about it a lot lately on these episodes that I'm turning the screen around so I stop looking at the LCD over there and look at you. But if you're new to the channel, there's been a lot of growth in the past 7 months at the time of recording this. Today is July 30th. And, it's definitely come to a point where I know that this content creation thing, this Matt Lane Fitness business thing, it's now its own animal. And it was only 5 months ago that I was talking about my nervousness and hesitations with monetizing the audience and the people watching. And this all started because I wanted to improve my confidence level, and my confidence is much, much higher. And I think I used to confuse confidence with arrogance, which is not the case. Money used to be a very sore subject, and now it's a very incredible thing. I say all that to say, I guess I'm thinking in possibilities now. Before it was more of like a survival thing of can I make enough money to survive, and can Matt Lane Fitness ever be something that would fully support me and I'd be able to pay the bills. But now I'm looking at possibilities. Now I'm looking at, what could I do with the money that is coming in from what I am doing? What could I do? How could I put it back into the audience? How could I make something that could positively impact people? How could I strategize and do things that really would affect you, the audience? And I'm happy about that because that's incredible. That means that I'm thinking in possibilities and not out of scarcity or fear. This happens way too often, Kat. One of the things that is starting to really bug me is I can't take on more clients right now. I still work a 9-to-5 job. Doing that and then creating, 2 videos a week, one live, and collaborating with a friend, and also putting on a podcast, responding to DMs and setting things up. It's a lot, and I'm not complaining. It's been incredible, but it's been time consuming, and I lack time. And I don't like the fact that I can't take on more people. I'm getting a lot of direct messages. I'm getting a lot of emails of people saying, I would love to be able to work with you. And that's, first of all, so humbling. I am so blown away. I love it so much that people want to work with me. And it crushes me to say that I can't because of time being the issue. I want to be able to get into the trenches more. I want to be able to get there with you. I don't know it all, but I damn sure know enough to help you accomplish your goal. There's just something about that client-trainee relationship where, I understand, the struggles of questioning, should I do this or should I do that, or changing the plan and doing all that, and I love that aspect of helping you through that. UPS. So I want to be able to do more of that. And it kills me to not be able to take on more people. So if you're listening to this podcast or this video, whatever I turn it into, and you've sent me the email, please know that I am doing my absolute best to figure out how I can take you on. I really do want to. God, it kills me. Anyway, Another thing that I wanted to bring up to her, which I did, was talking about getting quiet. And it's something that I've been really intrigued with lately. I've found myself talking about how busy I am a lot. And I'm sick of hearing myself saying it, and I know my close people around me are probably sick of hearing me say it. And I sort of questioned, I was like, oh my God, I wonder if it's come off like egotistical, like, look what I'm doing, but that's not the case. I think that's just that's what my life is about. Like, I'm constantly doing something, and there's always a camera or a mic in front of my face. I think there's something to be said about getting quiet. I think there's something to be said about shutting your mouth and doing the work. And there have been a few times where I've caught myself almost limiting myself of making a decision based on me sending a text and getting a response back from my close people. At the end of the day, I'm going to do what I want to do. But there have been times where I've sort of leaned on my people a little too much and been like, hey, what do you think about this? Like, what do you think about this idea? Once I got that almost confirmation, affirmation, then I would make the decision. And I thought about that and I was like, that comes from a lack of confidence. Like, that comes from like validation or needing that piece. And I was like, screw that shit. Like, I'm not doing that. And I'm not saying that seeking counsel is a bad thing. I'm going to continue to do that. But it was almost a crutch. And now I'm practicing when I have that thought of, I need to text Zach, or I need to run and ask Jenna about that. Right then and there, I'm like, I'm going to make a decision without asking. Because I don't need to ask anyone. I can figure it out on my own. It's incredible to have those people, but making that decision on your own establishes confidence and will bring you good. I think it builds you when you make a decision. And here's the thing, here's the beautiful part. Making the decision. I didn't say making the right decision. So what if you screw it up? You made the decision, you made the mistake, or you made the success. I think that making the decision and making the mistake because of your decision teaches you even more and is even more beneficial. So that's something I'm really heavy into right now, that when I have that thought of, I need to ask them, screw that shit, I'm not doing it. I'm making the decision myself. There's something that builds you from that. Waiting on the plane to pass. So one thing that she told me, a little feedback towards the end of our conversation, is she said that your anxiety and fear level has come down so much. And she is very right about that. I feel anxiety and fear so much less now. And I think it's because of those things that I've been doing, the very intentional steps I've been taking. Again, I feel like people always say, like, you need to take steps to work on yourself or strengthen those things that are weak about you. But that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to talk about that here to give context to you that might be struggling with the same thing. That, how do you improve your confidence? One of my answers is going to be from now on is knowing that you have to make a decision whether it's right or wrong. And I've heard that before, but practicing it, it's been so different and it's been very impactful. Just going. And I remember even 5 months ago, but especially 2 years ago, always wondering, am I doing enough and am I doing the right things? And I don't regret that. That's a part of the process, but that slowed me down. Again, I can't help it. That's just where I was, but that slowed me down when I was just constantly questioning the decisions I was making. And this all sounds very grandiose when you're just talking about creating YouTube videos and podcasts. But I look at it as self-development, so I think it actually is really, really important. If you're here this long, I really appreciate you, because this is just me spilling my guts. I always want to be transparent, so I'm going to tell you, I get a lot of common questions about, weight loss, or what's the best way to do this, or what's the best way to do that. And, I've put out over 300 videos now and 73 podcasts for free. And, there's a lot of good information in there that you can learn from. I know the information is out there. You don't need me to tell you. You don't have to have me to do it. You can do every bit of this on your own. You don't have to give me $1. Having said that, my taking the time to package it and deliver it to you for an easy step-by-step process, I now understand that, I do have to charge for that because it does take time. And there is a piece of me that doesn't want to do that. There's a piece of me, I think that's that humble side. The brain in me knows that it has to be done. So I am considering, and this is literally a business decision, business idea that I'm started having not long ago that I'm sort of sharing to you right here. I'm kind of interested in what you would think about this, but I am considering maybe some sort of one-time consultation type thing. I've always felt that a consultation is sort of the interview to the service or program or whatever. So basically, if you wanted to become a client of me, I don't charge you to have the conversation of, do you want to become a client? That's part of it. Like, let's talk about it. What are your goals? Okay. And then we start on your programming and go from there. But I'm learning that a lot of common questions, some people may just want to have the questions answered. Having said that, that consultation I would charge for. I honestly don't know what I would charge, but I guess my point in putting this in this video, in this podcast, is would you be interested in that? Is that something that you would want? Like, I know myself, and I know that there are people in this world that I would pay a certain amount of money to be able to talk to them for X amount of time. I think there is a piece of me that's like, maybe I just don't feel like I'm at that point yet, and I'm okay with not feeling that 100%, but I think that I'm learning this confidence piece in waves. It's coming in stages. So anyway, that was my ungodly transparent way of saying that if you would be interested in that, I want to know, so let me know in the comments. And yeah, I feel like I've ran my mouth enough. I think I covered most of what's going on, but this is the most balance that I've felt and the most output that I've had. And I think the big piece of balance for me has been very intentional of taking time with Jenna every Saturday and every Monday. And then, consistently training now that I've built the home gym. That video is coming 4 days a week. And I feel very, very good, very well balanced, very connected to the audience. And I'm very happy. I'm very, very happy. It's probably the happiest I've ever been in my life. And honestly, probably like 80% of it is because of you, the viewer, you, the listener. We are building a community here that has just become stronger and stronger and stronger. And sure, the strength it can come from the number. The number is getting bigger, but honestly, it's the connection. Good God. I talk to some of you almost daily, and it's friggin' incredible to me. It's unbelievable. Some of you are out of this country, and I'm communicating with you really regularly. I am so friggin' happy to have the Mental Fit Mafia. I am so happy to have you. And you bring me so much fulfillment. You bring me so much joy. You bring me so much just good. My God, just so much good. So thank you. I love you so much for it. And I can't wait till COVID's done, seriously. I can't wait to finally be able to do a meetup at some point. It's going to be incredible. So I love you all, seriously. If you're new, I appreciate you sliding by. You don't have to, but if you want to become a part of the Patreon community, you can do so. There's a link in the description below. It helps the lights stay on here. It helps us create better videos and podcasts more frequently. And recently we put more money into equipment. This lens that you're seeing, we put the money back into that. So anyway, I love you all. Thank you for being here. You don't have to be perfect at this transparency piece thing. Just try to be better than yesterday. Every day. That's another thing I started doing. Like, I'm not trying to make these videos perfect anymore. Like, you heard some of those little stumbling through words as I talked today. I'm not cutting any of that crap out. I'm giving you just raw me. Because that's real. And that's the shit that impacts. Alright, I love you. Bye.